Hi guys and gals, welcome to another bedroom production. You know, every so often there's an invitation to view a collection of cars. And what an honor and privilege it is to go in and not only view these cars, but also video them and talk to the collector. This is going to be a bit longer video because there's a lot to show and a lot to tell. So I hope you'll stay with me as we view a collection of cars. This is Greg, and he's been interested in unusual and rare items all his life. One such interest is cars. In fact, anything on wheels. Here's a cool little scooter.
Welcome to U Smart Scooter.
And how about this fat tire Harley? If it has wheels and piques Greg's interest, he has to own it. This one is a real beauty. Now a 1931 Chevy. This is really a cool car in absolutely original condition right down to the paint. Here's Greg.
Runs like a top. The car was rebuilt in 1960 and it sat in the barn up in Lesterwell since 1960. And they sprayed the whole car with oil. It took me, I don't know how long to get the oil off with kerosene. I think 3 or 4 times I had to wash it, and then with car soap, but it preserved it.
The engine is what's known as a Stovebolt 6, producing a tad more than 42 horsepower. It's 216 cubic inches. Here's how the engine sounds. What a very neat old car. But there are plenty more to show you, so let's move on. This is Greg's beautiful Cobra. It's a car he loves to own and was drawn to it the moment he saw it.
It's always a car that I loved. I mean, this car, it's a Superformance Cobra. It was manufactured in South America.
This Cobra represents everything Greg loves in a car, but it has to be treated with respect. I'm talking about horsepower.
Yes, it's a 351 stroker. It's bored and stroked to 427. It's got a little over 500 horse and torque, and it weighs 2,400 pounds, so it's a bullet. I mean, it wants to go.
Now, a 1976 TR6. These are fun little cars, and it's great going through the gears.
It's not an AC Cobra for power, but it's a different personality, and I enjoy the hell out of it. It's lots of fun.
Let's talk about the engine.
The engine's 152 cubic inch. It's got twin Zenith carburetors on it, and it's stock. It's nothing fancy about it. It's just that I try and keep it as original as possible.
Greg says bombing around in this little TR6 is a real blast. Let's move on. This is a 1949 5-window Chevy pickup showing its age.
Yeah, it's driveway art for me. It does run, but I don't drive it, and I just have fun with it. Christmas time, I'll put it out to the road and put Santa Claus in it, and maybe a Christmas tree in the back or something like that. And then I've got the parking lights tied in with the house lights, so they come on in the evening too. So it's kind of a nice look. I like the car look, you know.
Greg calls this pickup rusty. He says it's decaying art, and like ruins of old, there's a certain beauty in that. Let's move over to this 1986 Hummer. This is a big, tough macho machine meant for displaying lots of muscle.
Yeah, it's called an Alpha 1. It's got a 6.5 turbo diesel in it. It's got an onboard compressor, so you can release the air in your tires for more traction or pump them back up again. It'll go in 36 inches of water right from the factory. It's made for off-road use, although I've never taken it off-road.
Tires on this behemoth are 37 inches. This military-style vehicle can conquer just about any terrain. It does have its creature comforts, with comfortable seats, air conditioning, and plenty of options. How about this 1950 bullet-nose Studebaker Starlight? Robert Bork, an automotive stylist who worked with the renowned designer Raymond Loewy, was largely responsible for this Stude's styling. This was a clever modernistic design, however it didn't capture the public's attention and sales were not all that good. Studebaker made this style in 1950 and 51. One neat feature was something called a hill holder, which prevented the car from rolling backwards or forwards when stopped on a hill with the clutch depressed. The rear windows makes it look as if the back of the car is possibly the front, leaving many first-time viewers a bit confused. The engine is a flathead 6, but twin carburetors were available as an option. Here's another cool option, and I do mean cool. It did make the car a bit cooler, but not on humid days. Greg explains how this early form of air conditioning worked.
You're going to put the water in here, you fill it up. The inside is a tumbler, a mesh tumbler, and it's filled with straw grass. And then you pull this cable here, right here, and that rotates the straw grass in the water, and it gets wet. And then when you're driving down the highway, the air goes in here, through the wet straw grass, and then blows into the car from here.
Here's another car that Greg went all the way to California to buy. It's a 1955 Chevy sedan delivery. He drove it home at cruising speed via Route 66, and it was a comfortable ride all the way. The engine is a 265 Turbofire turning out 162 horsepower. This car has aftermarket AC, and it kept him cool driving all last summer. This is about the only image I have of Greg's 63 Bel Air. It was parked indoors and it was pretty dark in there for a good video. Here's Greg to tell you about it.
You know what? This car, I wouldn't hesitate to get in and drive anywhere. I drove it back 75 miles an hour all the way, every day, and never had a problem with it. It's just a good riding, good running car.
Now, here's Greg's 1959 four-door flat-top Cadillac. This car's in excellent condition with its original 390 engine. There's not a speck of rust on this car anywhere. And the chrome still glistens. It's in beautiful condition. And like all cars, there's a story that goes with this one.
We went to the Woodward Cruise, and that was right after Aretha Franklin passed. And we stopped at the dollar store and got a bingo marker and wrote down the side of the car, "Riding on the Freeway of Love," because it's a pink Cadillac. Somebody at the Woodward Cruise saw it, and I got a message when I got home, "You need to call this number." So they invited me to the funeral and with the pink Cadillac, and wanted me to help lead it. It was just a memory for life.
A memory for life indeed, cast in tail fins and chrome. Perched over the top of the caddy is this 1965 Mustang Fastback. We couldn't get up there. So for this, we had to go outside so Greg could tell us what's been done to this car.
I've done mostly all restoration to it, the body and paint. I've done new interior, new glass, new chrome. The driveline is good, but I did lower the suspension and also put discs front and rear. So right now I'm just in the process of finishing up the interior.
This Mustang Fastback brought back a lot of good memories.
Just the look of it and memories from when I was a kid. I thought they were so cool. I couldn't stand it, you know? They were just such a cool looking car.
Now back outside again to look at this rare 1966 Volvo PV544, the last year for this model. The body style of this model remained unchanged from 1947 to 1966. So what you see is 1947 styling. They were powered by a tiny 4-cylinder engine, but don't let that fool you.
Yeah, these little cars were famous for racing in their day. Pikes Peak, even though it's a 4-cylinder motor, it's 175 to 180 pounds compression, so they're a very high-spirited little 4-cylinder motor.
Time to go into another garage to look at the final car in the collection. This is a 1963 Pontiac Grand Prix. This car's in perfect condition, no rust anywhere. It features red line tires and nice trim lines. This was a mid-size car, somewhere between a Pontiac Bonneville and a GTO. The interior is very comfortable. Here's a shot of the dash. This Grand Prix is powered by a 389 engine. It has plenty of get up and go. Well, that's a look at Greg's collection of classic cars. I hope you enjoyed this look. Thank you for viewing. And when spring finally rolls around, we'll look forward to seeing you at the car shows and cruise nights.